Hello and welcome back to the Nexus Gaming series. We are switching over to Division D now for the second match of this evening. I am still Cat Peach, and with me is still Bahamut. Bahamut, how are you doing? It's been all of like 10 minutes for the crowd.
I had a good little break. I let Bandit out. We had like a 5-minute just like sit down session, just breathe for a little bit, and I'm ready to go for a second match here between Missed My E and the Found Vikings. this Div D match, I'm really pumped about because Division D, these lower divisions, yes, you can expect a little bit. You know, you're not going to get these insane rotations and flanks and all of this and that. But we get a lot of fun drafts and we get a lot of really great plays. So I'm excited. I've actually cast Miss My E before, so I'm glad to be seeing them once again. And the Found Vikings, I saw their name and I was just like, please play Lost Vikings. Just play Lost Vikings for me.
I really hope they do. And like, so it's funny that you were saying that because we, casted a game just a bit ago with Ragnaros and Zagara. So I'm like, if that's like Div B normal, what can we possibly get here? But with the Lost Vikings reference, like, you can only hope that they're gonna bust that out. As we're starting draft here, let's catch everyone up on what happened in the map draft phase. Coin flip was won by the Found Vikings, and so they decided to pick first pick here and also play Infernal Shrines later on this evening. And on the side of Missed My E, they banned out, let's see, Dragonshire. We also had Volskaya banned out for now. And picked Tomb of the Spider Queen for game number 1. So that is where we are now. And I feel like Tomb of the Spider Queen is one of those games where you can get away with quite a lot if you're clever about it.
I mean, it really depends on how you draft it. Some teams might catch it, some teams might not. You can draft into a Cho'Gall here. This is definitely a map where he gets a lot of value. We see them often. We often do see a lot of specialists come out here. Zool is actually a hero that we've seen kind of poke his head out here and there. A lot of good wave pressure with that. I mean, there's always Sylvanas. We can talk a lot about specialists here. The other thing too, and you noted it, Ragnaros. Ragnaros, in my opinion, gets a lot of value on this map. Comp depending, obviously, but we're currently going to get some, I wouldn't say standard bans, but a lot of... that has to be a specific ban towards someone because no one just outright bans an Alarak. Now, granted, it is a great map for that Alarak. I've seen it quite a lot, at least in quick match and such, but we get a Malthael as a first pick.
This has already been interesting, and Malthael really hasn't been considered, like, fantastic in quite some time. He used to be first pick worthy for quite some time. But coming out here, I think maybe, is there some kind of Cho'Gall pick on the side of Miss My E that Found Vikings wants to nip in the bud right away? Or is it simply just a comfort pick? He does have pretty good wave clear, if controlled correctly. So that's a potential there. Johanna and Phoenix coming out for Miss My E, a bit more standard of a draft so far.
Yeah, from what I remember from Miss My E, they play, I wouldn't say standard, but they put together compositions and such like that. Not that other teams don't, but the team that they went up against, they had the team name of 8-second death timers, and they picked Murky in game 2 and played it pretty well too. So that's what I was saying. In Div D, we can see kind of almost anything come out and into play here, but so far some really good bands going to be coming out. But this Murden Varian, it doesn't narrow their draft because obviously they're going to need some more. They're going to need wave clear, and they're also going to be needed a support. So banning out the Stukov really heads up for Miss My E. But at the same time, Miss My E, they haven't shown a ton from the draft. I don't know what you ban out besides maybe a Jaina because that pairs into the Phoenix.
Yeah, exactly. Or Thrall, follow up with the Earthquake. They're going to go with the Blaze, also a great option, I suppose, there. Not as much of a slow, but if you get enough people caught in enough oil, depending on how you build Blaze, that could. But definitely was not thinking of the Blaze either. But maybe that's more for Malthael to feel comfortable being the solo laner in that situation.
Well, the other thing too is that is basically them just waving a flag saying, "Hey, we're gonna go last rights," just so you know, because banning out the Blaze means you have no bunker shutdown. Because last rights, there is there's a decent amount of animation and audio. So if bunker can be dropped, you actually have I think I did the math out. You've got like a 0.5-second window to hit your button and for someone to get in there to knock out the last right. So it's a tight window, but it's very possible. And so I like that they're just like, we don't want that on the table here. But an Alex Strauss and a Junkrat,
Ooh.
I kind of like this. You get a concussion mine into someone, pull them into the team. Varian gets a taunt, Merdin gets has a stormbolt for them, and Malthael just shreds their soul apart.
Yeah, this is, this doesn't scream Alex Strauss's best map. And so interesting pickup there, but it has proven to be quite the powerful healer as of late. This is our second Lily game in a row here, Baha.
I'm just not feeling the Lily. I can never, burst healing isn't her strong suit, and granted, there isn't a whole lot of big burst from the members of the Found Vikings, but I don't know how I feel about it. Maybe I'm just against Lilies in general, but I'm not feeling it with this draft. Though I will say, Yrel in that solo lane, supposedly Malthael can counter that Yrel, so we're gonna have to see if that is actually a plausible kind of reaction pick from them on the side of Miss My E, because if they think that they can outplay the Malthael, that'd be great. But from what I'm told, it's often something that counters it.
Yeah, the other thing to keep in mind too, Yrel at a high level we see have lots of dominating success, and it's always interesting to see at non-pro levels of play how people are able to utilize her. And I'm wondering if we're going to see some different talent picks coming out of that Yrel and how they're going to play in general overall. So that'll be something to look out for sure. Might prove a hard time, might not, depending on who's playing.
Yeah, it comes down to that burden of execution, but overall, between these two teams, I kind of have to give it over to the Found Vikings. I like this setup. Maybe the peel is going to be big. Maybe they can pick them apart, but Cat Peach, we'll find out as we load into game one here.
Yeah, and we are going to start over here on the left side where we have Missed My E. We are going to have the Dude Abode on Thrall, Sestrin on Phoenix, Fury Popsicle on Yrel, Nonk on Johanna, and Born to Shine on Lily.
And on the right-hand side, we are going to be having the Found Vikings with Contender going to be on the Malthael, Ironware going to be on the Muradin, Cayenne going to be on the Junkrat, Dicky going to be on that Varian, and Sailor Sky rounding it out on the Alex Straza.
Sailor Sky, such a beautiful name. Yeah, I don't know if I have a clear winner in my head, because simply that Lily's still just throwing me off. And there's not necessarily so much burst coming out from the side of the Found Vikings. But it's still a lot to deal with, especially that we talked about. I think we still had Deckard Cain on the table too.
Deckard was available. I do think as you were saying it, you know, you're not sure where she kind of plays in, and with Malthael being in the 4-member rotations, I actually semi like the Lily, because they kind of drafted themselves into the corner a little bit with their support, but it offers blinds, and if you can shut down Malthael, if he can't auto, he can't heal, he can't do damage, he can't put poison, and he can't be a soul ripper anymore. He's just kind of he's a dull blade boy, and we'll have to see if that works out for them. Born to Shine going to be really needing to make sure that they get those blinds out onto Malthael and saving that cooldown. But Camp going to be picked up on the left side very early here. I actually like this aggressive play. Typically we see it actually grabbed with the Web Weavers.
Yeah, I dig it as well. And, Lily being able to say, hey, I'm a panda and I'm here to fight and help out with those camps, I think is excellent. Rather than have necessarily another hero help out with that. So trying to build up the pressure early and make sure that, even if they maybe win out on some skirmishes early on, simply keeping up on pressure is the name of the game, and being able to take out those structures as soon as possible is what's most important to Miss My E. So hopefully they can keep up that consistent kind of rotation and kind of shot calling.
We'll have to see. I will also point out that the level 1 from Lily is going to benefit them in those blinds as well. So I see in Twitch chat to believe in the panda, but we'll find out here as we are going to be having Dragon Form popped on Sailor Sky. They're going to be aggressing a little bit onto this, but with Dragon Form being popped, they just say, all right, no, we're good. We're just going to back off, and you've now burned your 120-second cooldown.
Yeah, that was a very hasty Dragon Queen.
Mm-hmm. I think they wanted to step in and take the fight, but 4s were achieved, and they literally just backed out. There wasn't... Typically, you see that dragon being popped in tight situations like this, where there's a harder retreat path. Nice knockback from the Junkrat there onto Sestrin and getting dismounted as well, and just continuing these rotations. But this is going to be 4s, and I'm curious to see. Yes, we do get the taunt from the Varian, so look for that solo target lockdown, especially with the disruption from Junkrat on the concussion line.
Now that'll be very interesting. Junkrat's been in a couple tricky positions so far in this game. Ended up having to rotate up from the bottom lane early simply to get healed from harassment from that URL. So hopefully being able to make a bit more distance, be able to escape a bit easier going forward through this match.
Yeah, and we're just going to be seeing the rotations coming back and forth in between these lanes. A little bit of experience in favor for the members of Miss My E, as they are, they're kind of keeping Thrall, I think, in the top lane. I haven't seen them rotating a ton, but just still making sure they're not missing out on this experience. A little bit of damage going on into Monk here, needing to pop the Iron Skin, gonna be out just fine. And, or excuse me, not Monk, Nump.
Excuse me.
I got you good there, didn't I? We will be having this rotation, though, continuing into mid, as we are actually in bottom lane. We have Contender going into Fury Popsicle, and really Contender not showing us how it's still very even between the two, and I really don't think anyone's kind of winning out this lane, so we'll have to see. Maybe Malthael is kind of at least keeping the solo lane matchup even, and is going to be difficult to deal with. But first web we return in phase 4, the members of the Found Vikings.
Yeah, both teams had the potential to turn in, but as you were saying, the harassment from Malthael into this URL has been really consistent in being able to consistently heal up off of any forward engagement she tries to make is going to be really important. The dude of boat getting taunted while trying to escape almost got out. Thrall ends up going down and dropping those gems as the web weaver falls, Bahamut.
That is a great pick for them. But the thing is, they're actually going to be backing up. They're going to need to tap well. They're a little far forward. They're taking some cannon shots. And Nomp going to be getting charged in on, but no taunt available just yet. It is a 16-second cooldown, so you can kind of count it the same way you would count a Stitch's Hook, for example. Same countdown timer, and just always be little tips just to be aware of. But that will be available as bottom lane going to get pushed in a little bit here. Fury Pops are going to stay down here for the clear under that. Top lane, or excuse me, mid lane is going to be pressured out by Contender and cleared up by the Dude of Boat. But overall, this is still a fairly healthy web weaver phase for the members of the Vikings Found. Yeah,
and being able to utilize On a Pale Horse to go back and forth between the mid and bot lanes and push those web weavers. Really excellent play coming out from Malthael, being able to soak as much experience and push those weavers as far as possible. Another taunt coming out from Dicky, who's able to take out Johanna, which is no easy task usually.
And this is what I'm talking about with the burst healing that is necessary. The way that Murden has been played lately, as you know, Murden has played more of a bruisery, but it's still tank. But it's in the sense of just stepping far forward. You know, you're really initiating a lot of these fights. Often we see tanks kind of play a little bit more defensive. You're there for the peel. You're also, you know, disrupting them from getting too close to your team. Murden is all aggression, and with the Varian setting up for them, and then the Stormbolt to follow up, you're chain CC'd for so long that just all the damage that goes into you, you can't live through it. And for example, that Joanna, she had a lot of tools to keep herself alive, but it's not going to be enough with that much damage and not enough healing out from Lily.
Exactly. I was wondering if Contender was possibly going to try to gank Fury Popsicle with Dicky here in bottom, but instead focusing on grabbing the camp, building additional pressure, which then allows Malthael to be that solo push, have some additional resources to help out, and better even face into URL than they have already in this match. Still have a turn-in available for Miss My E, so they're desperately trying to get in, but Dicky says absolutely not! Born to Shine ends up melting, dropping 40 gems, and Found Vikings trying not to let that be the end of it. Phoenix is now on the run, but not able to convert on that kill, but still one kill in favor, and a lot of gems lost from Miss My E. Level 10 being picked up for the Found Vikings as well.
And just to kind of hit on that aggression even more, we have Varian going into the Warbringer at level 10. Often we see that shield wall for the, you know, the protect status. The, oh, by the way, I'm Varian, you can't kill me because I've just hit W and I've got 2 of these. But just going in for more damage, more for that charge. I like this aggression that's coming out from the members of the Found Vikings as they get back-to-back web weaver turn-in phases. those gems that were killed or taken off of Lily, those were all picked up, but just they couldn't find an entry to get this turn in, and they've been denied every single turn in so far.
Yeah, a lot of teams try to be sneaky and say, I'll distract somewhere else and allow one person to attempt to turn in, but if your enemy team has split up, they're still able to watch those turn in points, and they were able to capitalize on that and take Lily down. And also now with this, before the Web Weaver even lands, take the first fort of the game, continuing to push in mid, likely going to get 2, if not even maybe 3, depending if Malthael wants to continue split pushing in that bottom lane, but instead going to return with their teammates and continue pushing up here in top where all members have gathered. Level 10 for Miss Mai has been hit, and so it's their opportunity to fight this once they take this Web Weaver out.
If they step a little too far forward on the side of the Found Vikings, they might be entering an Earthquake, which is going to be a Purification Salvo. Now, all of them are extremely healthy. They're going to be stepping far forward here. The Dragon Form is going to be popped from Sailor Sky. That is going to be the Purification Salvo coming out. Earthquake is going to be coming out just a second too late, not to get the value. The Lightbinder coming out from Sailor Sky onto Contender. He was staying alive, but these blinds consistently coming out. They know that they can't fight underneath that, so that will be... Also, the Jugs being picked up here. The Riptire are going to be coming out as well. Nomp is going to be in a little bit of a bad spot. That will be the Lacerates going out. That didn't get the kill, but the Taunt's going to be there as well. The Cleanse comes out on top of it. They continue to fight this, and they're going to succeed in getting a kill on the side of the Found Vikings. Free Popsicle in a little bit of a bad spot as Strezen is going to go ahead and get the kill out of the Junkrat. 1-for-1 here, Cat Peach.
This fight is going on for so long, and I didn't expect that to end the way it did with only 1 kill on either side. The Jugs from Lily obviously helping a bit in that fight, for sure, keeping members alive. Junkrat falling was very surprising as well. I feel like at one point the Riptire was disrupted and then having to go again there. But that might have been the longest team fight I've ever witnessed here in NGS.
That was a doozy between the two teams, and I gotta say, to only be losing 2 members during that entire thing, that is between the both teams also is amazing. Also, I gotta say, the healing that's been coming up from the Alexstrasza in this game, as well as the Lily, just kudos to them still. But we're getting to this later half of the game. The blinds are starting to becoming a little bit more powerful. They're starting to spread a bit more, and you can start to see shut down a couple of these fights. We'll see. Maybe they get these 13s on the side of Miss Mai, and that's the turning point they need. They've got 10s. They've got a lot of good setup. We just got to see it all synergize a little bit more together. That Pharrell's got to be a little bit farther forward with the Earthquake, and just so that Phoenix can get the swipe and also that bonus damage. But we currently have a Web Weaver phase for the members of Miss Mai, and they've got a camp that's pressured up mid, but every other lane has been pushed back quite a bit.
Yeah, they're going to have to push that back these lanes. That is going to help get them closer to the 13 as well, which once that hits, they're going to be able to push hard with these Web Weavers. Found Vikings immediately trying to come up to top and clear this out as to not allow Miss Mai to prep the boss lane here. While Malthael makes starting to make work of this mid one. However, the focus for Miss Mai is here in bottom right now, where they have a mostly healthy Web Weaver, and they hopefully have their eyes not just on the gate, but hopefully trying to get their first fort of this game as well. But the members of Found Vikings coming in, and they're trying to look for a fight before 13 hits for them.
They want to take a fight here. Ironware is going to be looking for that flank. Did not happen. They go ahead and they take the safe rotation back. Junkrat going to get a little bit of disruption with the concussion mine. Currently, though, they're going to be pushing into this bottom lane. Dicky going to be taking a bit of damage here. Not enough to be warranting any sort of worry, but the well does go down at this point. Healing circle out from the Alexstrasza. They want to get that abundance onto the team, as it looks like they're going to disrupt Nop from getting away. Do they get any sort of dismount? Not going to be happening, and they make it out of here just fine. No kills, but 13-14. Even talent tiers, as we have potential back-to-back turn-in for Miss Mai. The question is if they're going to be able to sneak it in.
Yeah, they're rotating top, trying to additionally push back this top lane against this Malthael that's here. If they're careful, they might be able to initiate a flank here. If Container can't get away, the Earl goes in, trying to trap. Malthael so far able to get on the right side of things, waiting for their team to join. The Lightbinder trying to come out from Alexstrasza as well with the additional healing. Earthquake comes out along with Purification Salvo, just trying to secure this kill, and they can't get it. 3 heroics, or at least 2 dropped for no kills.
I want to say that the Bless Shield did come out there for the initial stun onto Malthael too, because the cooldown is still going. So you are right. 3 heroics going out, but we currently have a little bit of a chase. They know that they don't have much here. That is going to be the Jug of 1,000 Cups as they just make the disengage and they don't get the turn they're looking for. They do have 46 out of the 55 necessary, but with the chase that's currently happening, they don't want to take anything too risky. The other factor, too, it's 15s on the side of the Found Vikings, and they're not playing Lost Vikings, but the way this experience is going, it seems like they have that on their team.
Maybe not Lost Vikings in play, but Lost Vikings in heart, you can say, coming out from Found Vikings. Finally able to get that turn-in of their own and deny that gem turn-in. So again, there's a lot of gems sitting on the side of Miss My E. Being able to get another kill and take away some of those gems would be absolute perfection on the side of the Found Vikings, but even more perfection in their eyes right now. They have their eyes set on this keep, and with the gate gone, it seems entirely possible given how far this lane is already pushed up.
And they don't need much more to get those 16s. They actually achieve that as this Web Weaver descends, so they have this talent tier advantage 2 levels ahead. The Web Weaver pushing, it's 13 minutes into the game. Can they get the kills necessary? Not going to get chosen as the dive target. The Iron Skin is going to be used. That's also going to be the Purification Salvo, pushing them back here, but no Earthquake. Also, Yrel being denied that leap in. The taunt goes out. That will also be the concussion. My Nomp is going to be targeted by the last rights, and they get the first kill to potentially move on to this keep, as it looks like they want to chase even further onto this Cat Peach.
Yeah, Earthquake is going to come out to try to at least stall some of the escape from Miss My E, or at least slow them down a bit, but the taunt coming out onto Phoenix results in him being dead. A beautiful swipe coming out from Fury Popsicle, and the health bars are looking really low on the Found Vikings. They're trying to retreat, but with 2 members down, I don't think Miss My E has enough damage to convert this to a kill.
No, the Found Vikings, they've gotten 2 kills, but they're just a little bit afraid to pressure onto this keep. And to be honest, I thought that they actually had that. They'll rotate into mid, try and do that as Fury Popsicle is going to go ahead and get taunted. The absorption will be out. The Ardent Defender is there, getting a little bit more healing from Dicky, who dove in there, trying to just be like, I just want to get the kill regardless of what you're doing. But the Web Weaver will be stopped at the keep. No, actually, excuse me, bottom keep. I was about to say no keeps falling, but bottom will be falling at this last second. 15 to 17 in levels, still talent tier advantage for the members of the Found Vikings. Boss is available, but I think they want to set their sights on defending these turn-ins, denying that next Web Weaver phase, because it will kind of just pause it out and really allow Miss My E to kind of start to get a little bit momentum themselves. 16s are really close, and that might just be all they need to really start to push this game in their favor.
Yeah, and Found Vikings definitely have the option. Ironware found hiding here in the bush, but has supporting cast to make sure that they don't fall in this whatsoever. But the rotation from Miss My E trying to come and find that. But good on them for checking the bushes to say, we don't want to get surprised yet again, so let's make sure that really no one is up here before we try. And through all that, sneaking in through bottom is that turn-in. So this Web Weaver, probably not too much gained, but at the very least, giving them a breath of fresh air to help push back their lanes just a bit, push back against those catapults as well, and get 16 of their own as they are imminently approaching. A sliver of experience left, and then they will still be 2 levels down, but at least they are on equal footing and can potentially take a fight even though they're down a bit.
20s, yeah, have not been achieved by the members of the Found Vikings, so they'll be even talent tiers, as you noted. They'll be able to just work their way into this. Junkrat trying to get some displacement under one of the members there, which is also getting this poke damage out as well. It's a huge factor that they have on the side of the Found Vikings. Miss My E going to be walking into this mid lane, not going to be getting targeted. There's going to be the Purification Salvo coming out. The Earthquake comes out the last second there, maybe getting a little extra, but the thing is the Lifebinder will be out. At the same time, Jug of 1,000 Cups goes out, and that also will be the last rights. They don't get the kill onto Nomp as they're looking for it. The taunt will be there, and they finally get the kill onto that Joanna. So a positive for the members of Found My Vikings as Dicky almost going down. They're going to tap the well. They start to chase this out, and this is like when you wipe the enemy team during a curse phase. You know, they have Web Weavers descending, but they're just like, we can keep fighting in this mid, and we delay this out. Your Web Weavers don't get too much, but the thing is, Ironwe're going to be having to pop that avatar form, going to hop out and get safe, but that was a little risky at the last second. And actually, they lose 2 forts during this entire phase, and it pushes them closer in talent tiers.
Yeah, just a bit closer, and I do want to praise that Concussion Mine for helping to secure the kill on that Johanna, launching over the gate just before it fell, and being able to throw out the taunt as well from Varian and capitalize on that. So a bit of a reprieve, a bit of gains on the side of Miss My E. Again, you mentioned they got those 2 forts. They're grabbing this camp of theirs. They're definitely not out yet, and that Web Weaver phase was able to push out that bottom lane quite a bit, so at least they have to not focus so heavily down there just yet, as they have the potential for another turn-in.
They have the potential, but the thing is, will they be able to get it? They want to chase a little bit of a fight. The knockback from Junkrat won't interrupt the Purification Salvo, but they do get that back-to-back turn-in phase here, and the lanes are a little pushed out against them, but the thing is they can still get a decent amount of value if they do get a kill here. Not going to be happening just yet, as it is 17 to 19 in levels, at 20 on the cusp for the members of the Found Vikings. I keep on saying the Lost Vikings, but the Found Vikings. But they're going to need to defend this, as it looks like everyone's up and they've got this camp pushing down mid.
Yeah, pushing down mid, trying to get this third fort finally down in their favor, and could potentially, with late game Web Weavers, see if they can get that kill, maybe get that keep gate down, maybe do a little damage on there, but it is going to be very hard, especially once 20's hit. And once 20's hit, they're going to have to wait a long time, 2 whole levels, before they can really do anything again. So they need to make something happen now, Bahamut.
They had the Riptire go out, it got denied. They also had the Bless Shield that came out and didn't get the value they're looking for, but Ironware's so low, the Lifebinder is going to be coming out at the exact moment needed. They turn around, they continue this fight, but the thing is, mid lane has fallen at this time. Bottom lane Web Weaver was ended so early, they still have catapults pressuring that lane, and top lane is going to be pressured out, and it's a little low on health, but this brawl will deny it from really getting any value. It should just die over time. Maybe a little bit of damage onto the keep front gate, but actually Contender will not allow that to happen. And the thing is, catapults bottom lane, they need to be addressed, and if they get a couple kills,
that's the kill. That's the kill that they potentially need. They might be down, but your team doesn't have a healer, and so you send one person down to defend, and they are going to do that with Urel, but is there some other pressure you can get on the map when you know that your opponents can't survive long-term in the fights like you can?
At this point, with the way they have to spread themselves across the map, I don't think they're going to be going for too much, at least pressure-wise, on the side of Miss My E. They just need this level, so I think they'll make quick rotations as best they can to get that. There's going to be Kyan just trying to get these dismounts and interrupts as they make the rotations. But the thing is also, Web Weaver turn-in phase is extremely close for the members of the Found Vikings, and they've already got bottom pushing out a lot, and if they can just get it at the right timing, it will land fairly close to their core, and they might be able to walk in with that. And the unfortunate thing for the members of Miss My E, they're not going to be anywhere close to a turn-in for a few waves.
Yeah, definitely not close, so they're going to have to focus on rotating up there, keeping an eye poking as much as they can. They do have some tools that are excellent, but the turn-in happening on top, that's going to be it. And Web Weavers achieved for the Found Vikings. Again, that bot lane, pretty pushed back. There's a camp also going into it, so they're going to focus up here, possibly push a different lane, maybe top or mid. Mid is already taking quite a bit of damage as well. So either way, they have their options, and they are waiting for their opponents to show to figure out where is it they want to go? Where can they capitalize the most experience on? Where are we going to get the most out of this Web Weaver phase that if we can't end here, other side of the coin now, they're a long way from their own Web Weaver turn-in phase if this doesn't go well.
And this is an aggressive step up onto this mid lane keep. They don't have the Web Weaver. It descended actually into the midpoint, so they need to back up. I think they were thinking it was going to descend right onto them, and Varian stepped up onto that, and they're like, oh, wait a minute, it landed way far back. So they back up, they take a little breather, but they do some damage to this keep, and it is sitting at about a third health, so they should be able to take this easily. Bottom lane is working its way up, but it's going to be cleared out just by the natural time it kind of depletes its own health. But the thing is, you have catapults stacked up down there. A big pull in from Nam. There's going to be the purification stuff. We're going to be coming out on top of the earthquake. Ironware in a little bit of a bad spot, but here's the thing. Lifebinder at 20 is so strong. The Dragon Form will be coming out as well. Currently going to be having the Jug of 1,000 Cups coming out. That will be the Riptire to separate the members away. Knockback from Sailor Sky to make sure that the friendly team is okay. Then another Riptire going to be going out, and that is going to be 2 Riptires to the face. And they don't get any kills, but they've just kind of staggered out this entire Web Weaver phase.
Yeah, and this is not how the Found Vikings needed that to go. They had to push a little bit more in order to really push down that keep. And so they can do something incredibly risky, but with level 20's talent, all the talents are taken up now, and you're on even footing with your opponents. You have potential of grabbing boss and doing something tricky, but they are 50 gems away from any kind of turn-in, as opposed to their opponents who are much closer to that goal.
And if anyone was wondering, because I was even myself, I was just like, wait, how did Junkrat get 2 rip tires? It is the 20 upgrade that it is going to be. For every hero hit, you get a 20-second reduction on that rip tire. So already back and available. I think the total timer on that was like somewhere in like the 25-second mark after that second rip tire. So that's a great pickup because the members of Miss My E are stacking up quite a bit in a lot of these fights, and they do catch them in these corridors. So it's a nice adaptation on Cayenne on that Junkrat. But we currently have turned it available for the members of Miss My E as Found Vikings are going to play this a little aggressive in these rotations, maybe trying to catch someone, get rid of that economy on the side of Miss My E, and maybe just give themselves a little bit of breathing room, and they don't have to continually pressure the lanes like they are.
That is exactly what they're going for. They were babysitting Miss My E through all those rotations, just staying ever so slightly out of vision and then disappearing, able to grab this bruiser camp away from their opponents. But Miss My E trying to come in and stall it, but they're not able to. But they're looking to engage on this fight anyway. The Riptire comes out and makes some room. Jugs coming out from Born to Shine, trying to keep their team alive. Fury Popsicle had to pop Ardent Defender as well in that fight. And yet again, or sorry, not popping Ardent Defender, it sure as heck looked at it like it for a little bit. I believe that was something else coming out of Johanna. But still, dropping Jugs, dropping Blessed Shield in that scenario just renders 2 more tools useless on your side. And with all heroics up on the side of the Found Vikings, they are in a prime position to engage.
That's going to be a huge knockback from the Junkrat, spreading these members across. They're a little bit peeled. That is going to be the knockback on Born to Shine. Murden is looking for that kill and just separating them from the team. We currently have the Unstoppable used. That is also going to be the last rights onto the Urel. That will be finishing her out, as we do have Purification Salvo coming out. That will be the knockback from the Junkrat on the Riptire. Going to go ahead and have a short cooldown on that. The Lightbinder coming out from the Alex Rez as well. They're chasing this fight inside of this Earthquake, which is giving Thrall a lot of value here, but they're going to go ahead and continue to chase this Cat Peach.
Yeah, they're chasing, and by the time being, there's catapults and a camp on their core. The shield's already down and core damage taken. Not trying to get out. Hardened Shield is popped. The Riptire is looking for a target. Born to Shine running away, unable to save Johanna or Thrall in that situation. But at this point, the core is at 50% health. That giant is wailing away. Phoenix and Lily trying to come in, but with the rest of the members of Found Vikings, they are going to clean this up right at the end. And that is game number 1 going over to the Found Vikings.
They had such strong plays throughout this game. I really got to say, they made great rotations. They played great defense. The macro play from them was very, very well controlled. Still, shout outs though to Miss My E. They had on Tomb of the Spider Queen. I've noticed on casting in Div D, there's a lot of back and forth. A lot of the teams kind of utilize the Web Weaver phase and then they back off from it. Any sort of pressure they've created, they don't really punish that or really aggress. We saw there was it was 14-16. The members of the Found Vikings, they were pushing top, and there were 3 dead, and they didn't, or excuse me, 2 dead. There were 3 alive, and they didn't push any further. They were a little just kind of timid to play outside of having those minion waves. So just the aggression, it could be a little bit more, but at the same time, 10 kills coming out on the side of the Found Vikings. So that aggression is still there. I think they're just playing it a little bit more calculated, a little bit more slow, but it's still a phenomenal series between these 2 teams, and I cannot wait for game 2.
Yeah, absolutely. And like you were saying, Found Vikings were just able to deny so much from their opponents throughout the entire game as well. So congratulations to them. I am going to flick over back to the casters, but you are strobing out a bit again. So,
yes.
Warning to the folks at home, whatever is happening over there, you are just like vaporwave status right now. It's amazing.
I absolutely love it. The weird thing is, I look over at my monitor, it is all fine. So Skype, stop being a butt.
Skype, please. What are you doing? All right, we are going to get the lobby set up for game number 2 here, which we mentioned earlier on will be Infernal Shrines. Another interesting map that could potentially have some creative picks coming out from both teams here. In terms of playstyle, though, between Tomb of the Spider Queen and Infernal Shrine, what does Miss My E need to maybe think about, maybe alter a little bit going into this next game based on their performance on Tomb of the Spider Queen?
To be honest, I honestly just think it's just their synergies. They've got the right idea. Their draft is there. They've got all the tools they need to take the fights, play the combos, to do everything they need. But I think it's just communication. It's actually, you and I had this conversation actually after Dorm. We were talking about, like our own casting abilities and things like that. And I had mentioned to you, like, we're kind of in this mileage phase where it's getting to understand and play and just synergize and just kind of work through these. Also, I think we got Contender in our party too.
Oh, how did that happen?
I was like, I don't know if this is gonna mess something up, but I don't want to break the game. But no, it's just
Apparently, if you remove from party, it also removes you from the draft. So fun fact.
So my whole point on this is it's one of those situations where they have everything they need. It's just a lot of getting that communication down between team members and just saying, all right, Earthquake, and then now we're going to do Purification Salvo, or, we lock them down with the Blessed Shield, then we Earthquake because we've got them kind of standing still and we can move in on them. And it's just like little things like that I was noticing throughout the game. There was the attempts I saw from Joanna consistently to throw out that Blessed Shield and then follow that up, but that Blessed Shield was just always dodged, sidestepped, or something. They couldn't make that connection necessary. So I think it's just one of those things, they've got everything there. Maybe just breathe a little bit. It's game number 2. They're on they're on the enemy map, understandable, but the thing is, it's still a great map that you can make a lot of good adaptations on, and you can get some comfort picks. And I think maybe that's just the route to go, as I look over and just see me strobing out.
Your shirt's just all like Christmas light for no reason. Going back to that point, it's one of those things that maybe some teams get a bit too ambitious with what they think they can replicate from other teams and other compositions. So maybe it's a situation where this is a bit newer, something they haven't fully fleshed out all the kinks on, and so they wanted to try it and see how it goes. And so I'm not familiar with who the comfort picks are for Miss Mai overall, but maybe it's something where you find those combinations that are a bit more easy to hit and guarantee. Also, maybe not pick Lily. And I hate to say it, but just maybe if you have that Deckard available, it's the same kind of construct where you can continually slowly heal over time, but at least target it a little bit. So perhaps that would have swayed some fights one way or another, possibly not. But I'm interested to see if we see that Lily come out again, or if they go to a bit of a different support style there.
And going back to the draft that we just had, it's not really something that we would see on this map, but I still will say there was a lot of good aspects from their last draft on the side of the Found Vikings that they can pull into this game here. The Alex Drazo, for example, a phenomenal pick. Sailor Sky on the Alex Drazo last game, I have to give just major kudos to, because that life binder was always there when necessary, and they could never get the kill because it was like, Murden's about to life binder. Okay, no. And then post 20, when it heals for a ridiculous amount and it pulses as well. No, I don't know how you fight into that at that point, especially with how well the games have been, or the brawls have been going for that team.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there were a couple situations where Miss Mai had thrown in so much into securing one kill, and that life binder just snuck up out of nowhere, made it happen. It might be worth an Alex Straza ban, given that Sailor Sky was able to play it so well. So, I mean, Infernal Shrines is one of Alex's better maps, so I feel like banning that out would be kind of the optimal move for Miss Mai.
Typically, we see a lot of bans out of Deckard Cain as well as Stukov. Deckard Cain is really strong in the in my opinion, on rotational maps. Deckard Cain is this is where he excels. He can drop potions between that mid bottom, or if you're on Volsky Foundry, mid top, or Tomb of Spider Queen, that's mid top as well. But you can drop all these potions, and teammates can just grab them as necessary, and that's a huge advantage. And then on the other hand, with Stukov, or I guess you could say the other lurking arm, is that he has that lurking arm, a phenomenal zoning potential. The pustule is great for teams. You can literally spread the pustule back off, pop it, walk back into the team fight almost full. And I personally think there's a lot of really great healers, and this is kind of what I was hinting, or we talked a little bit about, the healer pool at this point. For example, we talked a little bit about Brightwing in the last series and how it's kind of fallen off, but that's because there's just these really strong healers that play on a lot of these tournament-based, I wouldn't say tournament-based map, but a lot of these maps that we get in these tournament games. So we don't see them because, well, you don't need to single target polymorph someone when you can pick up Medivh and polymorph the entire team.
Exactly. All right, we are getting into game number 2 here, ladies and gentlemen, on Infernal Shrines. And we still see the Garrosh coming out of Miss My E, not wanting to deal with the War Chief himself.
Yeah, and it's going to be the Rainer being banned out as well. But really quickly, just to catch everyone up at home, what were the map bans while we kind of have this ban phase going on?
Yeah, sure. So our initial map bans were Dragonshire and Volskaya Foundry. And we did, if you're just tuning in, just finish up a game on Tomb of the Spider Queen.
All right. I love it. We got some big maps being banned out, but we're still playing a pretty large one here. Infernal Shrines, it's I wouldn't say heavily macro-based, but it is a map where you do need to make sure that you're making the strong rotations and grabbing and we were talking about it. Maybe they were watching the stream here, but definitely the Alexstrasza being picked up in this first slot. I absolutely love it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think a great adaptation, a great denial. The Junkrat immediately coming out yet again. It was a bit of a later pick last draft, but some of those Riptires coming out were quite valuable, and we see the Malthael make another reappearance. So definitely 2 comforts coming out from Found Vikings.
Question is, do they lock in the Blaze early to try and deny the Malthael? The other thing, too, that I like about the Junkrat coming out this early, one, it will be banned away, and you noted, it got a lot of value. The other thing, too, is anytime an Abundance Circle comes out from Alexstrasza, look for a Junkrat to just throw down his Concussion Mine, because this is like, I have some support main friends, and they're just, and we've played Team League and stuff, and they're just like, please don't make me pick Alexstrasza early in draft, and they're just like, I get punished. Every single time a Kael'thas drops a Flame Strike, you get Kel'Thuzad will drop his entire combo on it. Junkrat knocks you away, so you're basically painting a target on the ground. And on Infernal Shrines, it's definitely an area where you can deny a lot of that healing and really kind of hold over these shrines. But no ban onto the Blaze. Maybe they're gonna pick it up themselves, but a ban onto the Thrall.
Yeah, ban onto the Thrall, wanting to deny again that synergy between Purification Salvo and Earthquake, even though we saw kind of some missed synergy in terms of timing from Miss My E. Still afraid of that combination. And like you said, and to harp on that a little bit more, Alexstrasza just puts a target on the ground for your entire team. And so you have to be comfortable that you're putting that in a situation where your team's not going to get picked off. And so it's really risky. We're seeing a Lily swap?
Wow. Why you do this to me, teams? Are they just like, all right, Bahamut, you poo-pooed it all game 1. We're gonna show you what's up. This is how you play Lily, and we're gonna be showing it off to the. I don't know. I don't know here. The blinds, yes, they're great. I don't know how I feel about it. I personally would have just said something maybe like a Deckard Cain.
Yeah,
or Malfurion.
Again, exact same reasoning. Some roots additionally onto taunts as well. Like, there seems to be a lot of follow-up there, but instead with the Lily on the side of Miss My E, following up, rounding out their draft with Greyman and Leoric for that solo lane.
And an ETC to round it out.
Oh ho ho.
If I was on the side of the Found Vikings, I'd actually be scared. I personally think that the draft from Miss My E is on point for this map, as well as the synergies. Yes, they took away the Thrall, and I was sitting here, I was like, who's going to be their solo lane? They need a solo lane, and they also still need their clear onto the shrines. Leoric, such a great pickup, pairs well with the Phoenix as well. You get the skeletal swing, you get that slow. Phoenix comes in with the and we keep harping on Purification Salvo, but the thing is, that is where this draft is. It's completely surrounding that one heroic. I mean, you look at Diablo, you look at the Leoric. Greymane then gets benefits from those as well later down the line with Executioners. So it's a lot of these little things that just kind of synergize all around the Phoenix, and so we'll have to see if they're able to pull that off. But at the same time, the displacement from the Found Vikings, a little terrifying.
Yeah, a little bit terrifying, and contenders showed that they understand that Malthael role really well and constantly being able to soul multiple lanes and capitalize on that Pale Horse talent extremely well. So we're going to have to see if the members of Miss My E can get a win of their own in game number 2. On the left, we are going to have the Dude Abode up on that gray main, Born to Shine on Alexstrasza, Fury Popsicle on Leoric, Sestrin on Phoenix, and Nock on Diablo.
And on the right-hand side, we are going to be having the Found Vikings up 1 games, trying to see if they can make it to 2. That was going to be Contender on the Malthea, Ironware going to be on the ETC, Cayenne once again on the Junkrat, Sailor Sky going to be playing that Lily, and Dicky once again on the Varian. Let's see, as we have both teams going into mid at the start, are there going to be any sort of early game pickups, or if we're going to get just some slow play here, and actually Power Slide coming out on 2, Nomp, and a lot of damage going to be going out, but no taunt just yet from that Varian.
Yeah, no talent. I'm still trying to figure, is Lily some kind of counter to Alexstrasza that I'm not thinking about? Like, do these teams know something? Beautiful focus on the Sestrin, though. Phoenix going down, ETC, Nock in a hard place as ETC comes out with the Power Slide, trying to get away, but Contender with the follow-up, 2 kills in this first minute of the game. Born to Shine barely getting out of that.
My jaw just sitting open the entire fight. Like, are you serious? They're going to be able to pick up 2 kills that, I wouldn't say easily, but just in a very dominating fashion. The other thing just to know is in the solo lane, Dicky into Fury Popsicle, this is going to be a bit of a struggle, I will say, for the Varian, because Fury Popsicle is going to go ahead and have really quick clear, and also going to have that sustain as well, just to have that extra, little bit of healing here. But the Dude Abode is going to get Power Slid on. The knockback will be there. Oh, Junkrat going to be popping the concussion mine a second too early. Ironware with that knockback was actually throwing them off a little bit there, but that could have been a 3rd kill for the members of the Found Vikings.
Oh, that was so close, and I was so scared, and you're right, just a little too soon on the concussion mine. Junkrat's going to have to be really patient. Cyan's going to have to say, just wait a little bit longer to try to capitalize on that. But good attempt there, trying to maintain that dominance and keep up that lurk patrol going around this map.
Leoric is going to be trying to get out of that top lane. I just saw that hard rotation to top, and I was just like, man, are they going to dedicate a few members up here? And it looks like they'll do that for a couple seconds. I was thinking that the Contender would be, having that Pale Horse would be easily rotating through the lanes, but this mid needs to get pressured out. As Greymane sitting for the camp, maybe? Yeah, going to go ahead and grab this camp, as they do see the members showing in mid. Rest of the team will rotate down to help clear the wave, as well as then help get the camp. And then I like this. They got the camp in mid, and they're going to stagger that out with the one in bottom, and creating a lot of pressure for the members of the Found Vikings to respond to. And that's the big thing, is it's these little macro plays that you're starting to force the rotations in your favor. You're making the enemy team respond to what you're doing. That's the big thing here, as Ironware is going to get his knockback. That will be the blink out from Strezens. It's just going to be just fine, as it looks like we just have these lanes going back to neutral and rotation coming out from Miss My E.
Yeah, good call out on the rotation once they saw that camp grabbed, trying to make sure that camp gets no value whatsoever down in the bottom. And going back to the macro play, once you lose so many members so quickly in the early game, I feel like there's a mental thing that happens for your whole team that says, let's not fight them until we get a couple more talents, and then we can try again. So focusing instead on the macro and pushing out the lanes is a really good, I think, mental call from Miss My E. Just making sure that they feel confident in the fights that they're going to have to take later on in this fight. They are in the lead on these Skeletal Defenders right now, but the members of the Found Vikings are close behind. ETC going in with the bump. Dragon Queen going to be popped, and not looking really low, however, trying to get out, but there's a big dragon body in the way, able to get out for now.
And I love that little concussion mine just to force them through that, just even more of a choke. That's also going to be, okay, they reposition it, but they back out of here. I got to say, they played that so well. Now, I was worried was going to be dying, but the Alexstrasza in that dragon form still had the heals, even though they had the bodacious body blocks.
You got to really work around that bodacious, beautiful dragon that pops there. It's a bit bigger than you might imagine. But,
we have to lead out early.
Yeah, a little bit early. They're not properly baited out on the side of Found Vikings, given Miss My E a bit more of an opportunity to capitalize with this early game Punisher. Stun goes out onto Ironware. The Shadow Charge coming out from Nock as well. Just a bit of displacement to stop them from focusing on this Punisher while they can focus on the fort.
And this is the big deal. This is the reason why we're making a big deal about this, is typically you bait the Punisher over the gate. The team then has to burn down the gate, and they can't push with the Punisher. But the thing is, because it came out early, that is going to be the value that they got, and that will be the fort. But that taunt coming out onto Nomp, going to get the repositioning. Healing Circle going to be coming down as well. The Abundance keeping them alive. Power Slide from Ironware. They really want this kill onto the Diablo, and it's not going to be happening sitting at 400 health.
So close, but the support from the rest of the team to make sure Not got out of there alive was excellent, because you do not want a death. You do not want to give experience over to your opponent, especially after a push like that. So great job on keeping their experience lead in that situation. The rest of the map seems to be a little bit spread. The members of Found Vikings trying to either push out lanes, maybe get a camp, just trying to catch up a little bit after the loss of that Punisher.
Yeah, it's the soak game at this point. Everyone's looking for those 10s as quickly as possible. If you can have that before the next Punisher Shrine activates, and I want to say it's going to be in about a minute or so, which it's plausible for Miss My E to go ahead and do that. They're only a level and a half away here. It's just how quickly they can make the rotations, get the clears onto this, and also, the big thing is not staggering any deaths, not getting caught out. And I gotta say, from those first 2 kills of the game, no kills since then. This team is, you noted it, they said, you know what, they got some early game kills, and I like this play that they're just saying, let's breathe, let's back up, let's take our time. It's a bit of a mental game in this situation, and I like how they're just playing it a little bit slower. It's going to work better for their team.
Yeah, and it's working better for them as well in terms of experience, already hitting level 9. So if they can keep up the patient soak and the quick rotations, they'll hit 10 and be able to have that power spike that gives them the confidence to have an engagement right before the shrine activates. Found Vikings yet again making very quick cleanup of that bottom camp, while Leoric is up in the top lane now trying to keep Contender quite occupied, not able to soak too much experience, and Fury Popsicle has been doing a great job at that so far this match.
Yeah, I gotta say that the solo laning between these two throughout both of these matches has been absolutely awesome, and it's nice to see 2 members fairly even matched in skill as well as their own mechanics in this game. So I just kudos to both of them. But we do have that rotation coming out from Malthael to go grab that camp in the top right that will allow them just to have that pressure during this next Punisher, and this is the play that you want to do. I mean, Punisher's bottom, you throw this camp in top. If it goes uncontested, it will get you a keep if you just let it go. I mean, I think Jayhow put out a video once of just it on fast forward, just showing how it will go through every single one of your structures up to your core.
I like the heroics coming out. The threat of the Entomb, plus the Lightning Breath, plus the Purification Salvo, plus go to the throat. If Miss My E can time that all out perfectly, the bodies are just going to drop on the side of the Found Vikings, and they're going to be like, what do we do about this? At the same time, they caught up on level 10, so both teams have their heroics. Something's got to give, and it's going to give soon.
Yeah, I like the zoning concussion mine here. They're trying to make sure that they don't get too far into this. Strezin going to be having to back off. Nomp going to be getting those souls needed. The knockback will be pushing them further into the team. That will be the Shadow Charge. Purification Salvo is going to be stopped at the last second there. That last res will be coming out onto the Diablo, confirming the kill. Mosh Pit onto 2 members. No heals out. Strezin is going to be just a little bit of health. Meanwhile, though, Greymane is going to be dying just above. That is not the situation you want. Diablo losing all of the souls they just got, as well as your Greymane falling. The members of the Found Vikings going to be confirming this second Punisher.
Miss My E went into that engagement even though Leoric was clearing out the top lane, and I feel like they should have either patiently waited or had Leoric rotate down a lot sooner. And I understand wanting to clear things out before the lanes get pushed out too far into your opponent's favor, but having your team take a 4v5 is never a good call, even in a situation where you're on even talents. It's so incredibly risky, and it did not pay off. And the members of the Found Vikings able to capitalize on that. The Purification Salvo comes out, but nothing else to really assist with it. Simply trying to get the members of the Found Vikings to back a bit away.
Yeah, this Punisher stepping forward. The Alexstrasza will go ahead and utilizing the Lifebinder. I do think it actually went out onto the Phoenix there. That Punisher will be falling, but so will the bottom lane fort, as the members of the Found Vikings going to be stepping up here. Dicky going to get the taunt onto the Phoenix, but all by themselves, as Fury Popsicle going to be harassing. That is going to be the Entomb onto a couple of members here. We don't have anything else. There is actually no Lightning Breath utilized to slow them and kind of lock them down. I'm curious about that. Riptire going to be coming out at this time. Going to get the Shadow Charge from Nomp, but it's actually going to be going under the Riptire. They get the charge onto them, but no kills, and this remains to be a killless push as we just get this retreat from the members of the Found Vikings.
Yeah, and that was actually a flip of the situation that happened over at the Shrine where Found Vikings, they were down a member and somehow survived that entire engagement. And like you mentioned, Diablo not using that Lightning Breath along with the Entomb could have been maybe a decision made out of worry, of trying to wait for the Purification Salvo rather to come up and have them all together. But hard to say whether or not that would have confirmed a kill, but interesting decisions coming out. I think Miss My E might be a little bit skeptical of maybe their own heroic callouts at this point.
Well, I will say this. Contender on the side of the Found Vikings, during all of that, snuck up into top, stole away the bruiser camp, and actually it died out in the lane. But the thing is, the big factor from that, they stole it away. They don't have that advantage, and it was delayed out for quite some time, so they're not going to have that for any sort of pressure. And meanwhile, that just means there's no camps available. They can push into this mid lane and get a lot more value and start that experience gap that we saw in the last game. I mean, it was consistent 2-level difference right around this time. We're going to see if they're able to do that. Purification Salvo going to be coming out as well as the Entomb. Diablo going to be trying to get the Shadow Charge in here. The Riptire will be coming out from the Junkrat, knocking a couple away. Meanwhile, though, the Jugs are out during this entire time, keeping these members alive and safe. No kills just yet. Taunt going to be going out onto the Phoenix, and that will be a kill, Cat Peach.
Yeah, Taunt is out, and now Found Vikings are out for blood. The Mosh Pit coming out, securing that Graving. The Lightning Breath comes out, trying to save the dude Abode, but all for naught. Fury Popsicle did also end up falling into that, and now is simply a ghost watching this all unfold while the members of the Found Vikings are able to keep on pushing, set their eyes on this fort, and the members of Miss My E are left cleaning up the rest of the map after that.
I got a bit of a lore question for you. How can you rip the soul? How can you give the last rites to a Skeleton King?
Ooh, that's like,
oh, you know what?
Double death.
He did. They went for the human skin, so it's okay. Never mind. There's synergy with the heroics. Okay, but, they talked before. They were just like, we don't want to screw anything up. We're gonna put last rites on the Skeleton King. Got to make sure that he's semi-human. But these rotations are going to come right back out, and this is the thing that I noted. 2-level difference has kind of started here. We're looking at 14 to 15 and 3/4, however you want to kind of break it down. But they got to take a fight now. They got to take a fight when it's just about to be 16, so they can maybe stagger a death and get a little bit of advantage here. But Shrine's going to be activating in a second, whoever chooses to do that, and they're just going to wait out for the 16s.
Yeah, there's no minions just yet, but as the wave approaches, the timer is running out. Miss My E has to do something right now, but all they can really do is poke at their enemies and try to deny them the experience of that minion wave, which should result in 16 slowly ticking up. Still no, they're pushed back to their gate, but at this point 16 has been grabbed, and Miss My E still hanging around, hoping maybe to still capitalize on something, thinking they have to take this fight right now. The Purification Salvo is going to come out, paired with the Lightning Breath. A bit more damage coming up, but Leoric ends up falling in the back. Dicky seemingly trying to get the taunt onto Sestrin, but ends up getting Shadow Charged away. Taunt ends up finding Phoenix anyway. Dicky is on the chase. The Jugs are going out to make sure that the members of Found Vikings are kept alive. The dude above is launched from a concussion mine and ends up going down as well. And that is 2 kills that's going to allow the Found Vikings to now focus their eyes on the Shrine.
The last rites seem to be targeted for that Leoric every single time. And the great thing about it, it gets the kill. And I don't know, it's taking out Leoric is so big for the team. I mean, that's Life Leech gone, that's Slow's gone, that's so much for Streisand to lose for that Purification Salvo, as well as the slows and the setup for the team. The Entomb, that's a huge factor for them, but it's not going to be available. The other thing that I want to note too is the great call from Dicky there to go ahead and focus on the Phoenix and getting that taunt out in time during the Purification Salvo swipe to deny the burst damage as well as just deny it overall. It's such a strong play putting it on cooldown like that, as we have Contender going to be trying to grab this camp, but going to be a solo Malthael, and we have Fury Popsicle coming down here as well. The camp is actually available for grab, but I think this is going to be Contender trying to get some jukes. It won't be enough, as they should be able to body this Malthael.
They're bodying this Malthael,
No
but
way.
the Entomb is coming out. The Malthael is staying alive so far, and all this time the Punisher is pushing in the top. They finally get the kill, but this is for sure a fort that is down, and all for what? A single kill for a camp? It does give additional pressure, but so far, the Found Vikings have been able to push this Punisher without any issue, and with that fort taken, they say, we don't need the push with the rest of this. We're going to clean up. We're going to prevent you from trying to get 16 by killing off your minions before they can really do much of anything. So, I don't know if genius call or if not worth, honestly. It could be either. But forcing the rotation for the Found Vikings to have to clear that up at least saves them a little bit. I think they were afraid of a fight without 16 in defending that Punisher and it turning on them yet again, honestly.
And it's one of those situations where it's like, all right, well, we can't fight. They didn't win up 16, but we caught their mouth heal, so let's at least, you know, we'll burn Entomb, but it's not the longest cooldown. I believe it's 60 seconds, 50 seconds actually. So it's not the longest cooldown. I think they were just like, all right, let's burn it, let's get the kill. He's doing exactly what you described. Is staggering this out. The Punisher's getting more value than we want to allow it to get. So at this time, map's starting to open up for the members of the Found Vikings, but Miss My E, if they can just get a Punisher here, they'll get a lot of value themselves. We just really need to see them get those isolation picks, because that's really a lot of the key of the draft here is just isolating a member with that Entomb or a couple members and then blowing them up and then snowballing into the enemy team. And I think they're going for a little bit more of a stronger play every single time, and it just doesn't kind of synergize as we had talked a little bit about in draft.
You're absolutely right. It seems like they're slowly starting to see, you know, where these puzzle pieces, they're like, we think these fit together in this way, and it's starting to become a bit more clear now with better timings of all those heroics. But both these teams looking for a fight. There is even talent here, so I feel like if Miss My E is going to do something, it's going to have to be soon. The Shadow Charge goes in, but the taunt immediately comes out. Lightning Breath goes, trying to at least get those slows in, but the last rites ends up taking Diablo out, and Leoric is going to fall right after that.
And that is going to be the pick on the Leoric. That will be the solo mosh pit. Oh my god, Phoenix is going to blink right into it. The Riptide will be coming out as well. And that is going to be the taunt and the kill. 4 members will be falling here. Junkrat wants to chase Born to shine, and so does the rest of the team. Contender looking to get some damage out. They have a few stacks on the last rights. They're sitting at 4 currently, but Nomp going to be not living anytime soon. And that's a kill onto the Diablo.
Yeah, Diablo was able to revive immediately, but with no souls. Charging in like that when your teammates are down and when you're alone is instant death. You're not tanky enough to be able to take that kind of damage ever, let alone by yourself. And this is giving the Found Vikings an opportunity to, again, open up even more of the map than they've already gained. Prepare for this next Shrine phase, where it is going to push in this bottom lane. They've already taken the gate out, and the lane should soon push up in their favor if they can focus on that a little bit. It already slightly is, and they're already making the rotation over here, grabbing this siege camp, again, applying that pressure to bottom lane. This is going perfectly for them. They have level 20 just now, and I don't see a situation where Miss My E can really defend against this shrine, and they're going to have to pour their heart and soul into defending against this immortal that will eventually come barreling down to the bottom lane.
You said exactly right. We talked about the aggression that was necessary from both of these teams, and I had noted the members of the Found Vikings in Tomb of the Spider Queen, they didn't play aggressive when they had opportunities. That play right there, yes, it was aggressive, yes, it was a little risky, but the things 3 were down. They had 20s, as you noted. They got that front gate, they got some pressure into mid lane, and they go ahead and they grab the shrine. This is so much good setup for them. The other thing I want to note too is Malthea went into the Angel of Death, so that's actually going to be healing from that from last rites, as well as the cooldown reductions, and the current stacking is already doubled. So sitting at 4, they only need 1 more last right stack to finish that out, and then you have the what, like 10-15 second cooldown on it. Is ridiculous, as every heroic is available. Punisher's going to be barreling down that bottom lane. I would say this is the big defense they need to make on the side of Miss My E, but the thing is, Leoric's still top. I think should be Hearthing quite soon.
Yeah, Leoric's top, and also Miss My E simply has to defend without 20, so they're going to have to be really careful. And with the Diablo without a lot of souls, given the recent deaths, this is going to be a hard defense. The Dragon Queen ends up coming out, trying to blow the members away, but that keep is falling so fast, and this Arcane Punisher already it's only at half health. But the focus is now on Diablo instead of the core. The jugs are going to come out. Fury Popsicle gets taunted. Phoenix ends up falling as well. The Lifebinder's coming out trying to save Greymane. But this Punisher was on the core, now hopping over to Greymane. The Power Slide comes out. the mosh pit to follow, and with only Alex Strazel left, the core quickly falls. That is going to be GG going over to the Found Vikings. Oh my goodness. Excellent play coming out from them. That was so... At no point did they really seem to question a lot of their decisions, as Miss My E did in certain situations, and that confidence led them to that several level victory and that impossible defense, given the separation of talents and just the sheer amount of pressure in that bottom lane.
The Found Vikings are something to watch in, I gotta say, in Div D. Like, everyone should be keeping their eye on them because they played this so aggressive and so very well. You said it right. I mean, they had great rotations, they had great synergy, they had great communication. It's one of those teams that I'm going to keep an eye on them because, and not to say anything bad about Miss My E or anything like that, but it's just the Found Vikings. They had strong synergy, strong plays, great communication, great macro, great rotations, and during fights, their calls were clear. It seemed like they all knew what they were doing. ETC would go in for a power slide, and the team knew to follow up onto that mosh pit that was going to be coming out. Even if it was solo mosh pits, they still were diving onto that target because it's saying, I'm going to mosh on that gray main, and they dove right on it. The Phoenix then blinks right into it, and they get 2 kills for the price of 1 in that situation. But I gotta say, these teams, they played out of their minds, but the Found Vikings are they're gonna be taking 2 games tonight, and this is a great series.
Yeah, it was a great series. 18 kills to 1 in that last game as well, just showing that even with a dive like Greymane, there's nothing to worry about. We got our Lily to take care of any of that damage coming out. So good play overall by both teams, but the Found Vikings might be early front runners for the playoffs if we're just basing it on the first couple games coming out here.
I mean, we're in week 2, round 1, section 8, month 6 now. Season 5.
It's still way too early to tell, but when you're coming out strong like that, it definitely feels good.
Yeah, that's the big thing, and that's what I wanted to kind of note on is just being able to go ahead and, I wouldn't say body a team, but play this strong this early. It's huge.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. It's that big morale boost. It's saying we've shown that with something like the Malthael, like a Lily, we can still come in and perform extremely well, even with that Varian. Like, sometimes Varian is really tricky to play around, and sometimes it doesn't pay off in the way that teams really want it to. So, total ego comforter, I would say. Not necessarily a boost, but to say your head's in the right space there, which can mean the world of difference going into games from here on out.
Absolutely. I'm trying to find out. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah. So let's do lobby lobby 4. And let's go ahead and jump in there. I was about to say we can't find anyone, but
we found one of those Vikings after all.
And so actually, one of the Vikings will be joining us. Contender, how are you doing? Congratulations on your 2-0 victory.
Thanks. Yeah.
A man of few words.
A man of few words, but
always few, but it's still setting in. It was a fun 2 matches. Mm-hmm. They gave us a run, but it was fun.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. So talking about game number 1, I think the first pick Malthael, we were really thrown off like that, and obviously the performance from you in game 1 and game 2 kind of makes Malthael look like maybe he should show up a bit more. Was a lot of those drafts really surrounded by the Malthael, or do you feel that Malthael could be put in place of a lot of other solo laners in the game right now?
I feel like Malthael he's a very underrated hero on his soak. He can, on a pale horse, he can swap between lanes very quickly and get the soak in. Where I missed my soak, we had our Junkrat picking it up and he would go in and clear, but our wave clear would just overwhelm them with our assassins being able to also do damage. I feel like it just beats out any other solo laner.
Absolutely. Now, in terms of different roles, we saw Lily come out in both matches, one time against you and one time in favor of you, both into an Alex Strauza. Is there something we're missing here? Because we didn't really understand the Lily necessarily. Like, what role do you feel she brought to your composition? What do you think your opponents were trying to achieve with her?
Honestly, the first match, we don't know why they picked Lily. We were expecting a Rhaegar or a Deckard, but
Us too.
it just so happens that Lily and Alexstrasza are our healers' favorite healers.
Gotcha. So that was, again, one of those comfort picks. Kind of, we only had so many, and it ends up pulling out. Is that something that your support player is going to work on in the future of the league, or do you feel confident in the ability to kind of have that small hero pool carry you out throughout the rest of the season?
Oh, none of us have a small hero pool.
Okay.
Coming up to the season, we've all practiced about 5 to 6 heroes. We have two that we like better,
Gotcha.
but none of them that we're weak on.
So hide in some things early on.
Just
I like it. I like it.
playing the comforts, playing some stuff that isn't too big. But actually, just to jump back really quickly, my whole thing was I was thinking that the Lily was picked up to kind of shut you down in that game 1 with the blinds under the Malthael. Did it ever feel like Lily was actually shutting you down in a team fight with the blinds, or was it just like, all right, we just wait out the blind and then re-engage? Because that's kind of how it seemed to me at least.
No, I don't need to wait out the blind at all. When I get blinded, all I have to do is use my E, and I can continue smashing Q, and that's where my real damage comes from.
True. That is true.
So all I have to do is save my E for that blind and keep my dot up.
It was strong, and you absolutely did that. I mean, and you noted it as well, and I'll harp on it too. On a pale horse, it's such a strong talent, especially in these rotational based maps. You can clear up so quickly, and in Tomb of Spider Queen, I mean,
you were rotating, and we were like, wow, that is so great, being able to bounce between both those two during a web weaver phase and capitalize on 2 lanes there. That was probably one of the highlights of the match for me, honestly. So that was excellent calls coming out from that. Sorry, not to stop at your question, Bob.
No, you're fine. Yeah,
that's where I love On a Pale Horse.
Yeah, I was just giving you a compliment. It's great plays, and then I guess just lastly, their composition in this game too. It was a little terrifying, to be honest. I was a little worried about this. There's a lot of good setup from Leoric. Diablo had some good shadow charge opportunities. Phoenix can then capitalize on that, and Greymane can just pick off some of those lower heroes. Were you ever worried about that level of burst having the Lily, or was it just like, all right, we've just got Jugs, we'll save it for that and just retreat through there?
We were never really worried about the burst. We played around it. We waited for 1 or 2 ults of theirs to come out, then we would back out and go back in. That way they could never combo them together. We knew they were going for the slows with the Phoenix ult, and we would all back out. And I don't know if you noticed, our Varian would put down his armor banner as soon as the Phoenix ult would come out, because that was their burst. That was their shot at killing us.
And it honestly, I think there was once that it put you in a worrisome spot, but to be honest, the only time they really caught you out was when you were just doing your own thing, grabbing that camp, and they had to burn a lot of stuff to try and kill you. I was sitting there, I was like, is he about to juke them out of here and then just walk away? But the Entomb kept coming out. I was just like, oh man, I was just waiting for that Malthael to get out of there.
Yeah, that was the only place where I felt like we really struggled there. Like, I shouldn't have been there. I knew they were on our camp, and I thought to myself, I can get this camp. But no, I should have left.
But yeah, that'll wrap it up for me, Cat Peach.
Yeah, wraps it up for me too. Again, congratulations. And before you go, the floor is yours for any shout outs you want to give.
No, just shout out to the team. We did awesome games tonight, and we'll get them next week too.
I love the confidence. So thanks for joining us, Contender. Good luck for the rest of the season, and we can't wait to see you play again.
Thanks.
All right.
Whew. What an amazing match, Cat Peach.
That was more than amazing. That was excellent. What a great way to come back to our Wednesday shenanigans, my friend.
Absolutely.
I miss this so much, but now I miss playing Team League with you now that we don't have that going right now.
Oh, yeah, now we have to figure out, like, all right, well, what day did we start playing Team League now? So it's like, we'll figure out another day for that. But I gotta say, these matches between, the Gilly Shark and Beast Coast, that was an amazing series. If you missed any of that, it was just go watch it. Just go.
The
catch
VODs will
VOD.
be up. We will make sure they're up very, very soon. So definitely go check those out because those were wild. That was great.
And then if you want to just see some awesome Malthael play and some interesting Lily play as well, definitely go back and check out these games. I mean, Div D, yeah, they play a little differently. The rotations are a little bit different. They capitalize in an odder manner in some ways, but they played amazing games. I mean, a 1-18 game, I would definitely go back and watch this and just check out the plays that were made. And it's still you can learn a little bit about it, your own play from this too. So I just major shout outs to these teams. They played phenomenal games and it was such a blast to cast.
Absolutely, for sure. But that's going to wrap it up for us over here. But don't go away because we will find somewhere to send you. There are more games happening in the Nexus Gaming series right now, so we will find you that. But before we go, Bahamut, where can the kind people watching this match today find you if they like what you do?
Well, if you enjoy my casting and you enjoy Cat Peach as well, you can go ahead and follow me on my channel at twitch.tv/BahamutGaming or on Twitter at BahamutGaming or on YouTube. I've got old VODs from Nexus Gaming Series. I've got a schedule that's going up. The other thing, too, is, as Cat Peach said, we play this game together as well as cast it together. So follow my channel. You can know when we go live with some Team League or if we end up casting on my channel. We're going to pop back and forth, I think, this season as I
I'm just watching you strobe out so hard, and I'm so sad, but it's actually kind of really cool in a way.
It makes me think it's just like Doki Doki Bahamut. Like, we're going to get so creepy. Just like something's going to pop out of the last second. But don't worry, nothing like that will be happening. But yeah, no, thank you all for watching, and just everyone in Twitch chat and everyone who played the game. This has been awesome. And of course, just to you, Cat Peach, thank you for being the pilot of this evening and taking us around these wonderful games, as well as just everything that you're doing.
Absolutely, thank you. And make sure to, again, follow here. We'll do a lot of Nexus Gaming shows here this season. And thank you everyone for the follows, by the way, through the cast. I missed a lot of them, but for all the support, thank you. Hope to see you again here soon. So we will be raiding actually over to the Nexus Gaming Series channel, where I believe they're on game number 2 of their current series. So make sure to join that. Don't go away just yet. There are a lot more games this evening that you can check out. So definitely hang around for those. And as for us, that is all. So thanks again and take care and have a great evening.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.